Do not attempt to adjust your device screen. We are in control of the broadcast. We control the horizontal. We control the vertical. The time has come. Please stand by for a live transmission from Halloween Daily News. Yes, yes, yes. Light 'em up. Light up those pumpkins, everybody. Because we are live. And it is time to see who else is awake and alive out there this afternoon. Hello, Haddonfield, and happy Michael Myers Monday. Welcome to it. If you're new here, my name is Matt. We are Halloween Daily News, and we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming this afternoon to bring you a very special edition of Michael Myers Monday Live. So special, in fact, that we're going to rechristen it this evening, as one of our live chatters commented just a few minutes ago. This week, it's Judith Myers Monday, because we have a very special, very illustrious guest joining us. She is Michael Myers' first ever victim, Judith Myers herself, star of John Carpenter's 1978 classic. Sandy Johnson is here. She's going to be hanging out with us this afternoon live. She's going to be answering some of my burning questions, some of your questions as well, and we're going to have a good time hanging out, celebrating all things Michael Myers right here. So again, if you're new here, if this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome. We're happy to have you. This is a little bit earlier than our usual time slot of 10:31 p.m. Eastern. Typically a late night show, but I am very excited to welcome any new blood out there this afternoon. And of course, to all of our returning friends, what's up, everybody? Happy Michael Myers Monday. You made it. You made it to another Monday, through another Monday, almost. It's not quite done yet, but pretty much done, right? We're here. We're celebrating. We got Sandy here. She's in our virtual waiting room. So I appreciate you guys being here. I see Byron is in the house. David, Blake, one of our illustrious channel members. Rob has checked in as well, another longtime supporter. Great to see all you guys. Tim is here. Jenny checked in, already dropped her question. I love it. I love it. Drop some questions for Sandy. All right, we are not going to waste a whole lot of time. Sandy is here. She is in our virtual waiting room right now. I'm going to bring her on in just a couple minutes. And we're going to run this pretty much like we've done in previous Triple M live shows where we've welcomed special guests from Haddonfield. And that means we pretty much throw out our usual format. There will be no show and tell tonight. We're not going to do news bites. We're going to devote tonight's whole broadcast to celebrating Sandy and enjoying having her here. We're going to talk about shooting the film, of course, her iconic kill scene, and of course, coming back to the franchise for 2018. And like I said, she's going to be happy to take some of your questions here in just a little bit as well. A couple very quick programming notes for here on the channel. This is the second Monday of the month. We got 2 more to go. We plan to be here both Mondays live. Will there be special guests here? There may be. You're just going to have to stay tuned for that, but you're not going to want to miss the next 2 Mondays, I can tell you that. We're going to have a lot to talk about with those moving forward. Also, before we get to next Monday and outside of this franchise, I want to let you know some very exciting stuff coming right here on the channel. This week, I've got exclusive interviews dropping with the cast, including Anna Camp and Nikki Hahn, and the producers and showrunner of the new heavy metal infused 1980s set horror series Hysteria. It's premiering next week on Peacock. You guys are going to love it. It's got an awesome 80s soundtrack. It's all set during the satanic panic of the 80s. It's a great new show. I've seen all 8 episodes. I love it. Those interviews are coming this week. Look for that here on the channel. Lots more on the way as well, including our coverage from this past weekend's Nightmare Weekend in Richmond, Virginia, where our guest tonight, Sandy, was also appearing. And it was great to connect with her in person there. I'll share this photo. This was just a couple of days ago. Sandy and myself there in Richmond at Nightmare Weekend. And it was great to see her. Of course, other friends from Haddonfield in attendance included Nick Castle and Tommy Lee Wallace, as well as our friend David Howard Thornton, Art the Clown himself, celebrating Terrifier 3's massive opening weekend box office win. If you haven't already, check out my exclusive interview. It's just a real brief 2-minute interview that we got with David just in between signings at the convention just yesterday, Sunday, opening weekend. I just wanted to get a little bit of his thoughts and reaction and what he was feeling at the moment as news was breaking that Terrifier 3 was officially the #1 movie in the country. So that's already posted here on the channel. We posted it just a few hours ago. Check that out when we're done here today if you haven't already. And also, you can look forward to part of our Nightmare Weekend coverage. We've got highlights from the Halloween 78 panel, the Myers family reunion panel with Sandy, as well as Tommy Lee Wallace and Nick Castle. All that and lots more coming your way in the next couple days right here on Halloween Daily News. Not even just this week, not even just this month, but in the coming days, all of that I just mentioned is coming your way. So get ready. Tons of awesome content from Haddonfield and beyond right here on the HDN YouTube channel. All right. I am ready to get in here and to get Sandy in here and get started with our celebration of Judith Myers this evening. And that's a good question, Jeffrey. I'll ask her when we get her in here. And again, you guys, you can ask your questions now, but as the chat fills up, again, I'm going to talk to Sandy for the first few minutes, then I'll turn it over and we'll start taking audience questions. So you want to hold some of your questions if you can until that time. But I see you, Jeffrey. You've already dropped one. I see Jenny dropped a couple already as well because she might not be able to tune in a little bit later. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to play you a very brief pre-recorded advertisement urging you to consider becoming a channel member. It's only $5 a month, and it goes a long way to help support the channel. What's up, Brett? Speaking of channel members, there's one right there. So while that's playing, I'm going to be off screen, and I'm going to bring Sandy in from the virtual green room, and then when we come back, we will be here together. We will welcome her, and the show will begin. Thank you all again for hanging out. Happy Judith Myers Monday. If you love Halloween, more importantly, if you live Halloween every single day of your life, then you are absolutely in the right place right here on the Halloween Daily News YouTube channel. And the most direct way that you can help out and support what we do here at Halloween Daily News is by becoming a channel member. There's just one tier, it's just $5 a month. You get early access to our exclusive interviews, a lot of our exclusive pre-recorded content. Channel members also get access to exclusive merch discounts and many videos not made available to the public. There's also going to be members only exclusive live events, giveaways, and lots more killer perks you can learn more about in the membership tab. It's basically like Patreon, except here on YouTube. I urge you to consider it. We've got a really awesome, amazing, growing community in there already, and I invite you to become a part of it. I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank you for watching, and thank you for considering becoming an HDN channel member. Hey everybody, I want to remind you that we have official merch. That's right, now available in the HDN Spring Store. You can show your love for Halloween every day, all year round, with official Halloween Daily News t-shirts. Many different designs are available, many different styles, colors, all sizes, including the original HDN Classic, our special Triple M crew design for the Michael Myers Monday regulars out there, and our brand new What Would John Carpenter Do design. All of these are available, like I said, multiple sizes, colors, and styles on t-shirts. And that's not all. We've got other merch available like mugs and stickers and lots of other cool stuff. Check it out now at the merch link in the description of this video. We are live. It is Michael Myers Monday, but this week it's Judith Myers Monday because we are here with our friend Sandy Johnson, Judith Myers herself. Welcome, Sandy. Thank you. Welcome back to Halloween Daily. We have done this before, but never live on a Monday like this during our live stream. So welcome to Michael Myers Monday, or Judith Myers Monday this week. Well, you know I'm happy to have you. This has been something I've been excited about for some time. And again, we've met and connected a couple times in recent years, and we did have a conversation like this a few years back. But a lot's happened since then. Some other movies have come out, a lot of convention appearances, and you've got other projects going on now. And then we just saw each other just a few days ago. I was telling everybody in Richmond at Nightmare Weekend. So I guess we'll start there. How did your weekend go? Meeting fans this weekend. We found that too. That I mean, they really seem to think of everything there. Just as far as just every detail. I mean, so much. I mean, just signage alone. We were so impressed. Like, oh my god! And then so many just various events happening there and everything. But yeah, always exciting when we can hang out with some of our favorite people from Haddonfield. And yeah, they had some of the OGs there. You and Nick and Tommy. I mean, some of the 78 crew was there. Unfortunately, John had to cancel his appearance. We were all, kind of bummed about that, obviously. But, my first thought was, oh no, I hope he's not ill or something like happened. And I still don't know exactly what happened, but I think it was an airline mix-up or something. Okay, it was. Yeah, yeah. I mean, at a certain point, yeah. I mean, but that was unfortunate. But again, I mean, it was a great lineup that was there. You know, they had Art the Clown there, and just so many cool people that we had a great time, a blast all 3 days. And y'all's Q&A on Friday. We're gonna have some highlights of that up this week as well. But that was always fun to hear you guys reminiscing together on stage. We've seen it a couple of times, but it's always fun when you have a different combination and what stories come out and everything. Do you enjoy that? Reminiscing with those guys at those events together like that? Yeah. Same here. Yeah. And I always feel the same way that even if you feel like they've answered every question. There's always another question, even if it's not me. You go to these Q&As, and some of the fans, I mean, they'll come up with some very interesting questions sometimes. And it's like, man, that's I never thought about that, but now that they're asking, I'm very curious about that too. So we love hearing those interactions, and I always find that I usually learn something new myself. I always feel like there's nothing left to learn, but that's not true. I mean, there's always little details, like you said, and then just different perspectives. Like hearing Tommy, talk about doing the blood during your scene, and just little details like that Deborah, doing the stabbing and all that. But we'll get to that in a minute. But I'm the same. I'm the same way. I always learn something new at every one. It seems like, despite how many I might attend. But that's great. That y'all had a fun weekend. We definitely did Nightmare Weekend. Um, for anybody who might not be aware, maybe if you want to just recap just a little bit about getting your role as Judith before we talk about filming, and then I will be taking audience questions in just a few. But can you just recap a little bit about getting the role and stepping into, you know, well, it wasn't even stepping into anything at the time. There was nothing to step into. It was not what it was. It was just this little indie film that I don't think anybody was expecting would still be talked about 4.5 decades later. Hmm. Right. Mhm. Yes. And I every time I think about that scene, that opening sequence, which it's your scene, the whole sequence, and it's just it's so iconic and memorable and just historic on so many levels. I mean, obviously, as a fan of Michael Myers, it's his first kill, and as a fan of the franchise, it kicks off the whole thing. So there's that. But like you said, I mean, using the Panaglide, which was so new at the time, doing it, and I know there's cuts in it, but making it seem like it's a one shot and doing a lot of it as a one shot. Just all these details, taking the killer's POV. And again, I know not all of these were the very first time they were ever done, but the way it was put together to such success, I don't think had ever quite been done on that level the way they did. And so just whether you're talking about cinema history, horror history, or Halloween Michael Myers history, it's so up there, and it starts this body count that's still counting now. And and now you said, were you there one day, or how many days were you there on set? Okay, okay. And did you film the stuff? I guess the stuff before the bedroom first, or did you film that kind of in sequence and do the stuff with your boyfriend? Um, David Kyle is his name, right? Yes. Okay. And do you remember any like specific direction from Carpenter or from Deborah, um, as far as like just any specifics of that they wanted you to really portray with Judith? Mm-hmm. Right. Now I know when we talked a few years ago, we talked a little bit about the filming and how it was a little bit scary for you, legitimately kind of sitting up there waiting for Michael. I mean, you're waiting for the crew to come up. Can you walk us through that a little bit more? Because I mean, again, this whole sequence, and we've seen it. I did interview Dean Cundy a few years ago about shooting it, and like you said, it was historic using these cameras and all these techniques. Maybe you can walk us through a little bit more of that, of the actual minute by minute. I mean, you're sitting up there. Was anybody in the room with you at the time? Okay. Yeah. Right. And the whole thing seems like, it had to be so choreographed. As I'm watching it, I'm always thinking like, because everything's timed so meticulously. They come in, you turn Michael, the stab, then the camera goes up, and then we come back, and then there's that blood that Tommy was talking about at the Q&A the other day, and then you fall down. I mean, did you have to rehearse it? Did you have to practice it, or shoot it a couple times? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like even if it at four, that sounds like that's pretty quick to get it down. And again, for something that has been rewatched and just become such a part of cinema history. Um, and you mentioned doing Playboy before, and that was part of what they were looking for. Obviously, the part requires some nudity. I always find though too, it is Carpenter with your scene and with PJ's scene as Linda, it's not gratuitous in any way. I mean, maybe for 78 it might have been slightly, but certainly by today's standards, I mean, it's the nudity is just very, very subtle and almost not even there. But did you have any reservations at all about that part, or were you just that wasn't a big deal after Playboy? Was it just an easy sure, I'm all in? Yeah. And when they're actually filming, I'm trying to think of how many people were actually there, because we had Dean with the camera, um, Tommy on blood detail. It sounds like you're there, obviously. Deborah is holding the knife. Was she actually wearing the clown suit? Because I think the other day at the Q&A, Tommy said she was in the clown outfit. Do you recall if she was actually wearing the whole like clown outfit? Okay. Yes. I always think that's just part of the amazing lore of Michael Myers, that of all the great men that have played Michael Myers over the years, so many of them, and they're awesome. I've interviewed almost all of them, pretty much all of them. But the very first one ever on screen is Deborah Hill. Is a woman. I think that's an awesome detail to Michael Myers' history, is that she is literally the first Michael Myers on screen, and then of course Will Sandon being number two. Um, so they're all there. She's in the costume. I guess Carpenter obviously was there too, in the room. Was there anybody else that you could recall that was like right there? I'm just trying to paint the picture as accurately as possible. Yes, sure, sure. I guess so. Yeah, we've been to that house, the outside of it anyway. At H40 and H45, and um, yeah, it's not a giant house when you see it in person. Um, Man, so I mean that you shoot that, and then how long was it? I mean, because you guys were filming what? I guess in springtime um, of '78. Is that how you recall? Was it around springtime that y'all were shooting? Okay, yeah. And how did that process go? Was it because blood effects have come such a long way since then? Was it a process to get that blood off, or did it come off pretty easily? Yeah. Ah, very interesting. Yeah. Ah, well, that's cool that she was there to step in and help you that way. Um, and now I'm gonna take some audience questions here in just a minute. I know one of them I saw early was asking if you did get to have any interaction with Will Sandon on set. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Right. At all the convention, I'm sure. Yeah. And then you mentioned Jamie Lee, that interaction. I was curious about that. Any of the other cast members, other than your scene partner, did you get to interact with any of the other ones at all while you were on set? Hmm. Yeah. And I guess it was kind of one of the last, or you mean one of the last of the day, or one of the last of the shoot in the movie? Okay. Ah, yeah. Interesting. So the beginning was the end of the shoot. Um, and again, I know a lot of us fans know this story, but for anybody watching that may not be familiar, in 2018, you really kind of came back to the franchise in a big way. Judith is featured in the film, of course, in the 2018 Halloween, and but you were kind of brought back into the fandom and have been a fixture of all of this ever since. Thankfully, we're also happy, but you told me before when we talked that you were very much largely unaware of the phenomenon and the growing legacy of Michael Myers in this franchise over many of the decades after making that first film and until 2018 pretty much. Can you, for anybody not familiar with that part of this story, I just think that's fascinating. Yeah. Hmm. I'm and we speaking for the fans, we're having a great time finally getting to meet you and see you at these appearances and we were there in 2018 at H40, which was your first ever convention appearance, and we saw you again at H45 and again just this past weekend. So yeah, it's as a fan, it is so cool that you guys, so many of you guys, are out there and are so accessible and just enjoy, seem to genuinely enjoy interacting with us, the fans. I mean, it just because not everybody gets that. Not every franchise can you get this close to these people from these. And again, I use the word all the time, but it is iconic. Everything about that film is iconic today, and anybody that knows anything about cinema knows that, and it's very special for us.
if they hadn't found me, that scene wouldn't be in there because they had to have my permission. So I made the cut, it's like by about a week.
Awesome. Oh man. Um, and again, I'm gonna turn over here to start taking some live questions here in just a minute. But I know also you mentioned over the weekend at that Q&A panel something I love to hear. You're like myself a fan of Halloween 3 as well. One that of course didn't get much love until pretty recently with a major reevaluation. Um, what is it about that film that resonates with you?
I just find it so unique and creative. I mean, this concept of the whole marketing thing of getting everybody pulled in to buy these masks and wear them, and the sinister thing behind it of the
Yes.
damage these masks are going to do. I mean, the whole thing to me is just, it's just amazingly creative. And I found the concept just disturbing, very disturbing. And so I guess that's it. It's just disturbing and creative. And you just don't get it. I mean, you don't realize what's coming. So I guess that's it. I mean, of course, the acting and everything, but I think just the creativity of it. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I love that one. And again, the fact that it has finally getting some respect and as a classic in its own right. Um, I love that. Um, Now I'm going to turn over to start taking a couple questions from the live chat here. And I've got plenty more, but and yeah, apologize. Apparently there was some audio issues here and there, but for anybody with any that couldn't hear any portion of this, yeah, we can upload a better version at some point if needed. And but I think we've got everything worked out at this point. If not, you guys in the live chat, let me know. Let's see. I am going to scroll back to a couple of the first questions we were getting. I know Jenny left one. About working with. She was asking if it was Will or Deborah in the scene with you, and we've already gone over that. That it was actually Deborah as young Michael first. And then her other question was, what was it like being stabbed for the beginning? Um, and I don't know. I think we probably covered that. But is there anything else you can add about being stabbed in that iconic opening scene, the one that started it
I
all?
guess only that I not only had to be stabbed, but I had to manage to fall off a chair without getting hurt. So, yeah, so that was interesting. We had to practice that for sure. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely not a comedy. So, hopefully, nothing I ever really experience.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the choreographed fall. Let's see. Yeah, this is a good one. We're here in North Carolina, and I know you've attended events at the Myers House, North Carolina, a number of times, and we know Kenny and love that whole attraction out there. Jeffrey's asking if you will be returning to the Myers House in North Carolina anytime soon.
I don't know about soon because I was there earlier this year,
Okay,
and that was my second visit. It's a wonderful house. I love it. I get to sleep in Judith's room. And
that's awesome.
it's an amazing house, and Kenny's an awesome guy. So we love doing events there. So I bet I'll be back. It'll probably just be a while.
Very cool. That's good to hear. Um, Let's see. Ben Brown says it was not a question, but great seeing you this weekend in Virginia. And thanks you for
Thank
coming
you.
to Virginia. Let's see here. Got a couple others I saw coming in while we were talking. And oh, another one. What was your reaction when you first saw the finished film, the '78 film, for the first time? Because I imagine you being there just one day, you had no idea what else they were going to be doing, the character of Michael Myers and all that. So, what was it like for you watching that film for the very first time?
Well, the first time I saw it was at the premiere. And of course, I did not know the full story. Those things are kept pretty quiet.
Yeah.
So I really only knew my part. And then, so when I, other than, just the ads and stuff, when I got there and realized that Michael had grown into a full-fledged serial killer, the movie scared the hell out of me. Yeah, it still scares me. It's still a good movie. I don't care for a lot of gore, and I guess maybe that's why I love it so much because it doesn't require it. He's so good.
Yes, it's that classic aesthetic of you it's all theater of the mind. You think you saw more than you actually did. Very little actually on screen, like you said. And meeting fans at these events, as you have since 2018, what is? I know there's been tons of memorable encounters. What would you say is like just one of the weirdest, most unexpected encounters? Maybe something unique they wanted you to sign, or just some um, very out of the ordinary, one of a kind fan experience you could tell us about.
Well, I think it was at Mad Monster. A lady walked up to me who had on fishnet stockings, and she ripped her stocking open and asked me to sign her leg so she could go to another part of the building and have it tattooed.
Oh man, that's
So
awesome.
that was fun.
That's awesome. Oh man. All right, guys. If you've got more questions, feel free to fire away. Let's see. Eduardo, appreciate the super chat. How many days did she spend filming her scene? Yes, we talked about that earlier. Apparently, there was some audio issues during some of that. Maybe if you could recap just a little bit again about filming. It was one day on set, and you were there and you shot pretty much in chronological order as we saw. The opening scene with your boyfriend was shot as Dean's outside the window, and then everything moved upstairs.
Right. So yeah, it all just happened as you see it, where they come up the front walk, and the boyfriend and I are in the front door, and then as we move to the couch, then the camera comes on around the living room window into the kitchen, and then we go upstairs, and then Michael follows, but not until the boyfriend comes down. And then, of course, I was up there by myself, just getting creeped out, waiting for everybody else to arrive.
Now, have you run into David Kyle lately? Because he was at age 40, I think.
He
But
was.
but has he done any more appearances since then?
I don't think so. He was next to me at age 40, and he basically told me that the only reason why he came is he wanted to see me again, which was really
Oh,
nice. And we had a nice visit, but I don't think it's his thing. And I don't know if it's true because it's, social media, but I had heard he was rather sick lately. So I'm hoping that he's better if that's true, and that he's feeling good again.
yeah, we definitely wish him the best if he has been ill, and hopefully everything's well with him. And who knows, maybe we'll see him and you at the 50th in a couple
That would be
years.
nice.
That would be awesome. Let's see who else we have in here. Um, Now another thing that here's the good. What is your thoughts on the lasting impact of Michael Myers. I mean, obviously you were there in the beginning, literally in the beginning. And here we are now, 46 years into this, 13 films, and it's never going to end. It'll outlive all of us. Michael will, I'm sure. Um, have you thought about it much about like what is it that keeps new generations coming back to this, and older generations like myself just keep coming back to it?
Maybe it's just because he's like a blank slate and people
Yeah.
can put their own monster in there. I mean, his expressionless face, we know he's pure evil. He's void of humanness. So I
Yeah.
guess we just, whatever our fears or evil, the things that we personally fear, I guess maybe we're able to project them into him because he lacks all of that. There's not a particular persona about him, that makes us see something specific, like Wolfman or Dracula. Michael is just an embodiment of evil, so you can put your own evil in there, and it doesn't change anything.
I think that's a great point. Yeah, it is that blank embodiment that yeah people can put whatever they want behind the mask, and yeah, the rest just does itself. Um, Now, the clown also has become iconic. The clown suit of young Michael Myers. I'm sure you see almost just as many young Michael Myers come to your table now at these conventions as adult Michael Myers. Is that right?
Yes, I do. And speaking of that, I absolutely love the young fans. I love to see so many kids walking around in costume and excited to see cast members from all the franchises. It's just, I love that.
And you as we mentioned earlier, they brought you back for 2018. That's when you were kind of rediscovered as far as the fandom. And Judith is part of that canon, obviously. She's got to be, and was featured in the movie. Um, did you see all three of the new films? And if so, what are your opinion of them? Did you enjoy that storyline?
I have seen all of them. I guess I'm partial to the first ones. I loved
Mm-hmm.
one and two, and of course three, which is
Yeah.
uh, not associated, but still, I loved it. Um, I don't know. I think I liked the early on thriller without gore, when you didn't know if what Michael was going to do. He was a total mystery. There was no rhyme or reason. He could go into a room and kill nobody, or you just didn't know what he was going to do, which was part of made him so scary for me. The later ones, it just seemed like it got to the point where he just killed everybody. You just
Yeah.
assumed that anybody he came in contact with, he was going to kill. And to me, that wasn't as scary
Yeah. Just no
as
rhyme or
not
reason.
knowing.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And yeah, some of them have gone too cerebral too sometimes in explaining, which is kind of the opposite of what Carpenter did, which was we're not going to explain anything, and that's a huge part of what the shape is. So,
Right. The
it,
only exception to that was 2018. I did like
yes,
2018. I thought it had some really cool, memorable moments, like at the sanatorium when he holds up the mask and everybody's out there. I found that a very powerful scene. And when he picks up the mask and holds it up for the first time in
yeah,
the car, by the car, I mean, there were definitely some scenes like that were amazing. So I'd say that 2018 is in there too. But after that, they were okay, but not my favorites.
yeah. Now with well, let me turn over here before I get too into it, and don't take some more questions because I could keep asking more, and I do have a few more, but Darth Guyver has a good one. Have you met Tom Atkins? Being such a Halloween 3 fan, I imagine you probably have at this point.
I have, yes. I have seen him at several shows and said hi to him and stuff. He's usually
Awesome.
busy,
Yeah.
but I have definitely managed to talk to him a little bit. Very nice guy.
Yes. Yeah. We always like when we have an occasion to be able to say hi to him. And let's see here. What else we have? Like I said, I don't want to hog all the question time, but I do have plenty. Um, how about Jamie Lee Curtis? Have you had a chance to meet up with her at all since filming? Since she helped get the blood off of you after shooting your scene.
The only time I've seen her was at the premiere for 2018, and then again, I said hello to her at the cast party. But of course, as you can imagine, she was very busy that night.
I'm sure.
And so I didn't want to take up too much of her time, but I did manage to say hello, and it was nice to see her again.
And I'm always curious. Do you have a personal favorite scene from the film? With you in it or not, or like just as a viewer, like what's your favorite scene from the film?
Um, well, my favorite kill is Bob,
Yes, yes,
and I do like the scene with Annie in the laundry room. I find that particularly disturbing.
yes, yes.
I can
Getting
relate to that.
getting stuck in the window and yeah.
Yes, and you know he's there.
Oh yeah.
Uh, So that's pretty scary. I did want to mention some of my films, though, that are coming up.
Yes, I was going to ask that. I know you've got some upcoming projects. Please, yes.
Yeah, in fact, I just noticed on social media that I was tagged in it that on Halloween, the pareidolia that I am the voiceover of the late night DJ in, it's a short film out of UK. It's an excellent, excellent film. They're going to do like a YouTube watch party of it.
Nice.
So this is the first time it's really been available unless you were at some of the film festivals and things. So I
Okay.
did post it today on one of my platforms. So I'm hoping that people will watch it. You will definitely enjoy the people in it. It's got some really great talent from the UK in it. So
Very
anyway,
cool.
that's one of the things. I also filmed The Executioner. It is going to be out next year. I think it's going to be really good. I play a psychiatrist
Okay.
and I do, well, I can't tell you that part. I was going to tell you something, but I shouldn't.
Okay.
But I'm a psychiatrist and it's a cool role. Then just 2 weeks ago, we filmed The Doll of Deceit, which is good. It should be fun. They're still filming that one. And then I did Vulpes, The Lust for Revenge, which is a Hungarian film. And there was another one. What was the other one I did? Obviously, it isn't out yet, or I would remember. Anyway, they're all listed on my website, which is
Awesome.
unicornsandyj.com. And they're all listed there as well as conventions and getting autographs and stuff. But anyway, I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it, and I have actually a couple more films. Oh, I know what it is. Farmhouse Murders. I have
Okay.
a good cameo in that, and another one called Halloween Shark. Yeah.
That
So
sounds
I've
like something we
got,
could get into.
yeah,
Halloween
there you
Shark.
go.
That's
And I actually have a lead role in that one, so let's hope it flies.
hey, we'll be here for it. You know, we'll be here for it. We're gonna be here for all of them. But Halloween
Thank you.
Shark, yeah, I think that
Yeah.
that's that's a I don't know. Just hearing that title, that I have to see that just from the title. Like I can imagine. I can't imagine, but I'm gonna start. My brain's gonna start turning on what that one's gonna be. Yeah, that's a lot of projects to look forward to. That is very
Yep.
cool. You've been busy since we talked last.
I have been very, oh yeah, and Operation I-33 is another one. That one's out of Wyoming. We're supposed to shoot that next year, I think.
Oh man,
So there's a bunch.
absolutely. Well, we'll have to have you back on to talk about some of those when they're out and about and everything, and we can check them out. Yeah, that's look, other people. Derek's saying yes, Halloween Shark. Yeah, I mean Halloween Shark. I mean, just that title is like, yeah, that's a winner. It's like Snakes on a Plane. Like you hear that title, it's like I'm there. Halloween shark. Okay, I don't care what it's about. It's Halloween and got a shark in it. That's gonna be good. um, how often? I'm curious. Over the years, have you seen Michael Myers come to your house on Halloween itself, like trick or treating, little Michael Myerses, and they have no idea whose house they're at, and well, they're technically at a Myers house in a way when they if they come knocking at
Right.
your door. do
Um,
you see
well,
that often on Halloween?
the sad thing is I don't see a lot of trick-or-treaters. We've always lived for the most part rural. And they just, you get a couple
Yeah,
kids, but most of them are clustered in towns or places where there's lots of houses close together so they
yeah.
can go door to door. So yeah, I kind of miss that actually. Because when I was young, we lived in neighborhoods. So there
Hmm.
was lots of trick-or-treaters coming to the door and stuff, but that was before Michael.
That's true. That's when
Yeah,
neighborhoods were safer before the boogeyman started doing his thing.
yeah. But my guess is there's a lot of them.
Yes, it is kind of different now, trick or treating, like you say. I mean, I remember just going to every house in the neighborhood I grew up in. It seemed like, and we never like got in a car and went anywhere. But like us with our boys growing up, we would drive a few blocks over to where, because our house, unfortunately, it's kind of the same. We get maybe one or two or three a year, if that. But a few blocks over, it's packed. It's a madhouse. So we would always just take our kids over there. I'd prefer to stay here, but that's where the action was. We had to go. Kind of different from, like you said, when I grew up, where it was like wherever you were, it seemed like every house participated and every kid was out just on their streets.
Right,
And of course, you see all the cosplay at the conventions now. There,
right.
that's a whole nother level of paying homage. Um, you probably see some Judith Myers out there from time to time. I would imagine. I mean, we see a lot of Laurie Strode's. We've seen. I'm sure you see some Judiths out there sometimes.
I absolutely have.
That's got to be flattering, to say the least. When you see these people recreating this character.
Yeah, the creativity at conventions blows me away. So much talent.
Yeah, yeah. It same here. I mean, we always just love that part. Um, Somebody asked if Halloween Shark is from the director of Shark Exorcist. I didn't know there was Shark Exorcist either, so I don't know. Maybe it is the same
I
filmmaker.
don't
Maybe
think
it
so.
doesn't. Maybe not. Let's see. Is asking if you have the tombstone, the Judith tombstone. I'll yeah, I'll add to that. Do you have any souvenirs from the set of the '78 film?
No, I wish I did, believe
Yeah,
me.
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I did have the hat from my Playboy shoot for many years, and about, I don't know, 8 years ago, I auctioned it off. But that was really the only thing I had back from then.
Yeah, again, it's one of those things. If you could do it again, you might take just some little souvenir,
Yeah,
something, just
I would
the
say
brush
I
or
definitely
something.
need
I mean, could you
souvenirs.
imagine that Judith's brush right now? I mean that. Oh man, um, just and now I'm sure you probably have, or at least you've seen if you don't own. Like I've got one over here, a Judith Myers tombstone, and there's numerous variations that have been released. Not to mention, apparel, T-shirts that either have the character or the tombstone. I mean, the tombstone is part of, it's like the opening credits pumpkin almost. It's like just one of those instant symbols of the movie. Um, what's that been like for you? Seeing Judith herself kind of get her own due in pop culture and in horror culture as well.
Right. I actually have some really beautiful hand done uh, tombstones that are just gorgeous that very talented people have made for me. And of course, I do the Judith hairbrush now, so that I wanted Judith to have her own collectible that would Halloween fans would recognize that that belongs to Judith. So I splatter those with blood and sign them and stuff, and they're on my website. So yeah, I thought that would
That's
be
really
kind of a
cool.
fun thing.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, that is really cool. And yeah, just again, a cool thing for fans that they can get it directly from you, and yeah, don't even have to go to a convention necessarily if there's not one in their area or they don't want to wait. There you go. They can go to your website, and it's unicornsandyj.com. Is that
Uh-huh.
unicornsandyj.com? So there you go, guys, and we'll put a link in the description when we're done here as well. Um, let's see. Let's see what else we have from live chat. We'll take a couple more, and then let's see. Tim Leo is asking, will she make an appearance in San Antonio anytime soon? Anything in that area?
I wish they would invite me to San Antonio. That's my home. I was born there and I've never been invited there. So yes, I would love to come to San Antonio.
There you
They
go. You
just need
gotta.
to invite me.
There you go. Request her to the promoters, guys. Tag the events. Request her. Tell her. Tag them every day. Bug them, and then there you go. Get her invited, and she'll be there. Derek says he has to have the hairbrush. There you go. You just sold one to Derek right there. Um, let's see who else we have in here. Um, yeah, a lot of people are excited about all the projects you have coming out. I mean that's great. Did you think that would come about as kind of? I mean, I imagine it's happened largely as a result of being in the public eye again, and did you think that might be a side effect of this? Of hey, people want me for this work now, and I imagine they're coming to you rather than you having to do a whole lot of chasing them down at this point.
Yeah, I did not expect that actually. I my career, like I said, was kind of cut short by depression, losing my parents and divorcing my first husband, and just kind of a bad time. And so it's really fun that I'm well beyond all of that. And now I have opportunities to go back and do some different kinds of roles, which is great. I'm loving it. And the good thing is I still live kind of rural, so I couldn't actually go to a lot of interviews and things. So I'm very blessed that, people know who I am. So if they like me, they can reach out to me. So that's awesome for me.
Very cool and awesome for us because we get to see more of you on screen now. Very exciting stuff. Um, Scott Baio asked how you've been. Do we have Scott Baio in the house? um, he's saying hello. How have you been? I don't know that that's the real Scott Baio, but
Well, whoever it is, I've been great.
there you go. And if it is the real Scott Baio, well, welcome. Happy Judith Myers Monday.
There you go.
Let's see. Tim, oh, not a question. Need her on my Halloween poster. Need her autograph. I'm assuming you mean. Yes, you got to. You
Well, you
got
can go
to.
to a con or send it to my website.
Yep, Derek's saying they should get you at Haunted Screams Expo in Hampton. We were just at that one a couple weeks ago ourselves. Yeah, that would be great. That's a fun one as well.
I do have Sacramento
Okay.
Sinister Creature Con coming up this weekend, and then the
Okay.
weekend after that, I'm just outside Seattle at Washington Horror Con.
Oh, I'm sure
Those
that'll
are,
be huge right before Halloween there.
yeah, yep. And that's a new area for me. I haven't been to Washington since I was a kid.
Now, I guess that's part of a conscious thing too. When you're looking at these offers and where to go and everything, it's like, well, we haven't been to this area. Let's try to make that one happen as opposed to this one where, yeah, we were there last year. You want to try to hit as many different fans as possible, I imagine.
Yeah, that's important, but I make friends at the ones I go to, so then I kind of want to see them again too.
Yeah,
So they both have their positives, old friends and then make new friends.
that's true. That's a good point. That's um. All right, here's another question. What was it like working with Deborah Hill? Yeah, I think that's, we can't talk enough about Deborah. She's, I always say John's the father and Deborah is the mother, and Mustafa's the godfather of all of this. That's kind of how I put them. But yeah, she's the mother of all of this. What was she like? Anything you can tell us?
She was very nice. She was lovely lady. Um, she was great with directing, doing her part with the directing. I think a lot of the richness of the female characters, I think, had a lot to do with her
Yeah.
input. So yeah, she was wonderful to work with, and I'm so glad that I got to.
Do you think, I mean, because yeah, she passed way too soon and way too young, obviously, and was still, busy in her career, pretty much till the end and far beyond the Halloween franchise and even her collaborations with John. She did a lot of other work. And what do you think, just knowing her for the time that you did, her feelings would be, and how do you think she would feel about where Michael is now and where all of this is today?
Well, I think she would be amazed on one hand, but then on the other hand, realizing the greatness that was involved there. Maybe not totally surprised from that aspect also, because I mean, sometimes we're amazed by things the way they just kind of explode, but then again, when you think about it, you can relate and see why it happened. So yeah, I think she would be really happy to see that it's not only popular here and across multiple generations, but internationally.
Do you have one memory from the set that maybe stands out as just your favorite moment or favorite part of um, working on that set?
I would say the downstairs scene was really fun.
Hmm. Yeah,
It was playful and just fun.
yeah, absolutely. They say legend. They like that answer. Let's see. All right, we got time for maybe one or two more if y'all got a really good one. Um, and again, I will check any audio issues that there might be other than the obvious at the very top. I can I'll see what I can do about fixing that and editing a better version of the audio in if possible. For any of you that might have had issues there, let's see. Oh, somebody signing off says thanks for answering their questions. Judith Myers Monday. Can't wait for Halloween Shark. Best wishes on your future, Sandy. So that's from Darth Guyver.
That's great.
Yes, I think we're all gonna have Halloween Shark on our radar now. As Halloween Day, we cover all things Halloween, all Halloween movies. So yeah, something called Halloween Shark. We're gonna be all about that one. I can't wait. And we actually live in a beach area. I don't know if you know where the Outer Banks, North Carolina is, but we're like it's a tourist area with whole beach community. So sharks are a big
Right.
thing, like right where we live. So yeah, Halloween and shark. Yeah, I'm here for it. Um, Pat Ring, another one of our illustrious channel members, checking in, saying hey, welcome, Pat. Rob asks, up to now any new movies. Yes. Um, Scroll back just a few minutes. Yes, lots of new movies that she's got coming out, including Halloween Shark. Which one's first on the list, though, that they're going to be able to see first?
Pareidolia on
Okay.
Halloween
All right.
is the
That's
first one.
that's the
And
first one.
again, it's a short film, excellent. It has won tons of awards. and you'll definitely enjoy it. And
Okay.
then I think Executioner will probably be the next one to be released. That's my guess.
Okay.
And then maybe Doll of Deceit. I'm also going to do a John Rain film, Vampire Penance,
Nice.
which is going to be good. I haven't
Cool.
filmed my scenes yet, but I think it's going to be really good.
Wow, really
So,
cool.
yeah, so there's a lot of good indie stuff coming up.
All right, there you go. You hear that, everybody? Put all those on your list to keep an eye on. Um, Jeffrey's looking forward to meeting you in the future. Um, Jenny asked, this is an interesting one. Sandy, why do you think Michael wanted to kill his sister? It's the most fundamental thing, but do you have a take on that? Do you have any idea what what possessed him to do that? Why?
That's a tough one because again, Michael doesn't seem to really have reasons for doing things. He's just evil. And he just maybe he saw that knife, earlier in the day. Maybe his mom was cooking with it. He saw her put it away and just decided that Halloween might be a good night to use it. And I was nearby. Because, yeah, with John Carpenter's version, there's not a lot of thinking about things,
Hmm.
just kind of convenience. Other than Lori, he obviously seems obsessed with Lori.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the others, it's just there you are. And he just decides you're the one, the next
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
He
You're
decided
yeah.
I was the first one.
Yeah, you were there. Maybe that was it. The knife was there, and you were there, and it was Halloween, and he was just in a different character's mindset. Maybe I don't know, but I agree with you. It's unexplainable, and I think Carpenter would agree. Yeah, there is no reason that can be articulated. You just have to, it's whatever drives him. Um, as somebody says in the live chat, true evil has no reason to. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Do you have with it being as we're recording this October 14th, Halloween season is it's always Halloween for us, but Halloween is officially underway for everybody right now. Do you and your husband have any plans for Halloween this year?
Well, that weekend, right before we're in Washington, and
Hmm.
that will be the conclusion of about, I don't know, 6 weeks nonstop of Halloween events.
Yeah.
So my guess is we'll probably curl up on the couch and watch Halloween.
Sounds like a perfect way to end the
Yes.
most wonderful time of year. um, can't, yeah, I mean, that sounds ideal. Yeah, you were on a tour. We've been hitting a lot of events. We've been on like a Hallow tour. You're on a Hallow tour too this month. Um, Pat Ring asks, have you read the Halloween novelization? Because there was a lot more to Judith's character in that novel. That's an interesting question.
I have not.
Okay.
What is it written by John Carpenter?
No, it's not written by Carpenter. They did. It was out of print for years, and they did put it out right after the movie came out. It's written by Curtis Richards, and but they just this year reissued it for the first time, reprinted it with all new illustrations and stuff. So a
Huh,
lot of us
cool.
have finally been able to read it. It's been kind of this mystery and this most wanted thing, and now a lot of us own this new version that Pat's talking about. And I'm sure that's what he's alluding to. But yeah, there's more Judith in it, and it's very interesting. Yeah, you even get a little bit more of Judith's boyfriend in it as well. A little bit more of y'all from like earlier in the day on Halloween. It's 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 pretty interesting. At some point, you should check it out, just out of curiosity.
So it's
Very interesting.
Curtis
Yes,
Richards,
yes.
and it's called Halloween.
Yeah, it's the Halloween novelization, but
Novelization.
the one they just put out is actually Halloween illustrated novelization, and that's the most recent one that they reprinted, and it's got all these new artistic illustrations, but it's also got the original novelization reprinted for the first time in, I don't know, you guys in the live chat can tell it's 30 or 40 years maybe. I mean, it's been a long time since
Wow.
it was out of print for a long time. It's like the original printings are really hard to come by, and I guess they reprinted it a couple times in the 70s, maybe early 80s, but I know it's been out of print for quite a long time. But yeah, is some cool because it starts a little bit before where the movie starts, and it's just interesting, for myself and a lot of these guys in the live chat to we just any extra bit, whether it's official canon or just, a what if scenario, it's so cool. And the novelization definitely fills in some of that. They even have some weird like they go really far back into like ancient Samhain Celtic type stuff in kind of a what's the prelude of the novel before they even get to
Huh.
Haddonfield. It's yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's definitely um, an interesting read for sure. But I agree with Pat. It's some very cool stuff that they do with Judith in the beginning, just to flesh it out a little bit. Um,
Uh-huh.
and speaking of that, before I get too off track or we get too late here, I did want to ask you. I don't know if you've probably heard some about it. The big news with the franchise lately is well, right now the news is Michael Myers is taking over video games. That's happening. But as far as on screen, there's this TV series that we've heard is in development, and we've heard that they're gonna go back to '78 and kind of use some of the characters. The wording we heard, if and things might have changed, but the what we were told was it was going to be they were going to focus on some of the characters that maybe they haven't focused as much on. So that got my head turning about, well, who are we talking about here? And I really thought, and regular viewers know this, I've pitched my idea here on Monday before that I would love to see a streaming series that takes place. It could be literally back in 60, in 63, or it could be modern day. But either way, it should tell the story leading up to the Judith kill, and and I would focus it on Judith, like for most of the episodes. Let her kind of be the main character and make everybody just fall in love with her as a character. This high school, and we get these little bit of young Michael more and more leading up to what in my mind would be the final episode, or at least the final episode of season one, and then they kind of do their spin on that. Um, do you have any thoughts on this TV series? Have you heard any of the talk about it? And I guess I have to ask, have they contacted you at all about the TV series? Because everybody will kill me if I don't at least ask.
Yeah, no, they have not contacted me.
Okay.
And the only word, that I've heard is like everybody else through social media and news reports and stuff. So apparently they are going to do it. Where they're going to take it or how they're going to do it, I'm not sure. It'd be awesome if they gave Judith some storyline. That'd be great.
I mean, I just think if they were going to retell, and again, I think they mentioned characters that maybe they haven't focused as much on. I'm thinking, well, they haven't focused on Loomis much lately, so they might could do that. But Judith, that she's never really gotten the focus, and I just think it'd be a cool way to retell that origin story and focus on that character to where we as fans all know where it's going to go. So every episode you'd be watching, just know, and maybe she notices some things about Michael that the parents kind of blow off, and oh, Judith, stop being dramatic, and stuff like that. And I think it could really work if. And again, I have no idea where they're going with it. They might be doing exactly this. They might have. I might be way off, but personally, I mean, I'd love to see that as a series. I think it has a lot of potential. At least one season of a series, like an 8 to 10 episode, where every
Right.
episode you're inching closer to October 31st, and as fans, you kind of know what's going to happen, but you don't know how the show might remix it possibly, or I think there's a lot of possibility. And then of course they'd have to get you in at least as a cameo and playing somebody in there. I don't know who. Maybe as one of the teachers this time. How they had PJ voice a teacher in 2018.
Right.
I don't know. I'm rambling now, but the whole idea of it gets me excited. So
Yep. Hopefully we'll find out.
if they did reach out, would you be interested in coming back in again in some way to the franchise to Haddonfield?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure all of us would love to see you involved in some way. Um, and yeah, everybody's got a pitch of what they should or shouldn't do with a TV series, and who knows, maybe it'll change and they end up not doing it. But from what we understand, like you said, it's happening and it's in development. So I can't wait to learn more. All right, guys, if you got one more good one, fire it now. But I think I think I've covered most of what I wanted to hit. We've talked about Halloween. We've talked about Halloween, the holiday. We've talked about Michael Myers. And again, I apologize for those technical issues in the top to everybody watching, to Sandy. We'll get that worked out certainly in the future. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But it is live. So stuff happens from time to time. But I think we covered pretty well. And I again, I mean, this has just been awesome hanging out with you again. I mean, it's always a pleasure whenever we get to see you and just chat for a few minutes. And you've been just so cool and generous with your time today. I can't thank you enough. This has been awesome. Our first ever Judith Myers Monday.
Well, thank you. I've enjoyed it. I've loved hearing from the fans, and I enjoyed last weekend as well.
Yes, absolutely. Same here. Well, again, Sandy, we're going to let you go. Everybody, you guys stay tuned. I'll be back over here in just a minute before signing off, but I'm going to go off screen now and let Sandy get out of here. But we have to wish you just the best, happiest of Halloweens.
Thank you. Same to you.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, everybody, give it up for Sandy Johnson, and I'll be back with you in just about a minute here on Michael Myers Monday Live. And we are back live here. Huge thank you once again to Sandy Johnson for hanging out and joining us this afternoon for the first ever Judith Myers edition of Michael Myers Monday Live. Thank you to all of you guys for watching as well. Again, apologies for any of the technical issues at the top. Again, we'll try to do better on the next one. What I will do is I'll go back and, if possible, I will try to incorporate and edit in the original audio back into this if I can do it within YouTube. If not, we'll upload a different edited version for anything that you might have missed. But just give me a day or two to get all that worked out, guys. We did just get back in town late last night from Nightmare Weekend. We had an awesome time. Like I said, we got tons more coverage coming your way from that, including Sandy's Q&A panel with Tommy and Nick. That's coming your way very soon here on the channel. In addition to my conversation with David Howard Thornton earlier today, that we dropped earlier today, we also have full coverage of the Terrifier Q&A panel featuring David Howard Thornton and one of the makeup artists from the new film as well. That's going to be coming your way tomorrow for Terrifier Tuesday. And again, we've got the cast, including Anna Camp and Nikki Hahn, of Hysteria. They are both amazing in this show. I mean, their performances are amazing. Their characters are wild and unexpected, and I don't want to spoil anything, but they're great. And we've also got the producers and showrunner of Hysteria. You guys are going to love this show, especially those of you that like the metal like I do. You are going to love it. Yes, Bruce Campbell's in it as well. Didn't get to talk to him this time, but he's on the to talk to list for one day. Those interviews are coming later on this week, and exciting stuff coming as well. I'm shooting an interview tomorrow. I can't tell you about, but it's going to be something cool to come next week. And Terrifier 3, if you guys are excited about Terrifier 3, if you enjoyed the movie, if you're hyped that it's number one, and you're wondering where's the Terrifier 3 interviews and coverage, we got you covered. We got some good ones coming. Big interviews from Terrifier 3 coming very soon this month, right here on the HDN YouTube channel. So you're not going to want to miss any of that. So there we are. Happy Michael Myers Monday, everybody. Early edition. Thank you again so much for joining me tonight, for hanging out. We're not going to do shout outs tonight. We're not going to do polls. We're not going to do show and tells. We're going to get out of here, and we're going to go celebrate the fact that we just had Judith Myers on the show. Legendary Sandy Johnson. Again, Sandy, thank you so much. That means so much, and just so awesome. And once again, apologies for technical issues. It does happen. It will happen from time to time. But I am going to do what I can to correct that for anybody watching this on a replay. So keep that in mind. And any of you that want to go back and see what you missed in the beginning, hopefully we'll have that worked out in the next day or two. So until then, everybody, I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank you all for hanging out tonight. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for participating in the Q&A. Y'all came up with some good questions. And thank you for helping treat Sandy Johnson like the total rock star that she is. A lot of cool movies she's in coming out. A lot of good horror stuff. Halloween Shark? Yes. Yes. Sign me up. I'm there. We're there. Right, guys? Hell yes, we are. All right, everybody. This has been awesome. You guys rock. It's our time. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything we got coming your way, including more Michael Myers Monday live next week. Who will be joining us then? Will we have a guest? Will we have guests, plural? I don't know. You're going to have to tune in to find out. And also to find out the bigger mystery. Will we have the sound issues worked out by next week or not? That's the bigger mystery. Tune in so you find out the answer. All right, guys, this has been awesome. You guys rock. Thank you so much. I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank you for watching, and happy Michael Myers Monday. Good night, Haddonfield.